Good afternoon, and welcome to the Darth Grumpy Dad Twitch stream.
Good afternoon, and welcome to
And I need to mute that right now. Okay, so today I'm going over the Necromancer build, the Rathmas set. Let's continue here. And this is the last set I need to do for the Hadrig's gifts. And the Hadrig's gift is, yeah, you can see it's not a bad looking set. Suppose I should get a pet out. Oops. Haven't even worried about it, picking up gold and whatnot. Let's see what kind of, this one kind of goes with it. Wrong color, but yeah. Yeah, we'll just go with that one. Okay, so Bones of Rathma. All right. Now this set, you will be wearing, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the pieces. You can have Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube, so you get your 6-piece bonus for just wearing 5 pieces. Your 2-set bonus on this. Your permanent minions reduce cooldowns of Army of Dead by 0.5, half a second, each time they deal damage. Skeletal warriors spawn faster, and your revived minions no longer expire. Right? And then your 4-set bonus on that. Your minions no longer take damage. You gain 1% damage reduction for 15 seconds each time one of your minions deals damage, max 75 stacks. So that's 75% reduction. But it takes a minute to, right? So they have to be attacking stuff, and it slowly builds up. And then it'll last for 15 seconds once it's full. Permanent active minion increases the damage of Army of the Dead by 17,000% up to 31,000. Right, pretty good. And now, as far as your legendary pieces required for the set, you need Jethus Skull Scythe and Jethus Skull Shield. And that is a 2-piece set. When the target of your command skeleton dies, your skeletons are automatically commanded to attack a nearby target. While your skeletons are commanded to attack a target, deal 400% increased damage. So damage, it A, your damage, and B, makes it so you don't have to cast command skeletons quite as often. Right now, I believe if you're gonna push with this build, you're gonna want Squirt's Necklace and a Convention of Elements. But for this build, I'm just going with the Traveler's Pledge and a Compass Rose, because it is so float between attack and defense. If I'm moving around a bunch, it'll help, you'll give me 50% damage reduction. If I'm standing still for a while, it'll give me 100% damage, right? Squirts just gives you 100% damage, but you take 50% increased damage. And early on in your build, you're probably not going to want that. You're not going to want to be taking that damage. The ring you're going to be wearing is Crispin Sentence. And this is quintessential to the build, this ring. It increases your damage, right? Oh, that's the Zays. You deal 100% increased damage against slowed enemies, or triple this bonus against enemies affected by any other type of pairing effect. And guess what? One of your gems, Bane of the Trapped, creates its own, C effect, right? So you're getting 100% uptime on this stuff. And then Bonds of Celeon, right? That's going to be your bracers. Army of the Dead deals 81% increased damage or double this bonus against an active target of command citizens, right? And if I select on this, I go for the stat range, that goes up to 100% increased damage, right? So this is kind of a, it's from 75 to 100 is that damage bonus you can get. So I'm kind of in the middle there. It'd be nice to have a better one, but that's the one for this build right now. And then you're going to be wearing the helm, you're going to be wearing the breastplate, you're going to be wearing the shoulders, and the gloves, and the pants. I go with the pants because they always have 2 sockets early on. If you don't have a lot of mats to be crafting a pair of Captain's Crypt pants until you get one with 2 sockets, just use your Rathmas because it comes with 2 sockets. That way you don't have to craft one of these and one of these to get your set bonus going, right? So now you're going to have a set bonus for your Rathmas set, a set bonus for your Traveler's Compass, a set bonus for the Jethus, and a set bonus for Captain's Crypt's Waiters, which the 2-piece bonus isn't a big deal, If you're taking a lot of damage. Plus 6,000 per second reduces cooldowns of all skills by reduces all resources by 20%. Well, here's the up part of that. Damage dealt is increased by your percentage of cooldown reduction. So you get a 20% damage increase. Damage taken is reduced by a percentage of cost reduction. 20%, there's an automatic 20% reduction. And then whatever you get out of the rest of your gear for that, for damage and resource reduction, right, just adds to it, right? So like on your gloves, technically, let me get this out of the way. Technically, I think those gloves need crit hit chance when I'm looking. Oh, here we go. You want both resource and cooldown on your shoulders, right? You can get both. You want, this is an ancient piece, and it's not bad, but it's only, 6, 8 cooldown reduction, right? And it's got command skeleton. I'm not sure what you have to roll something off to get your resource reduction on it. Just gonna have to. Anyways, let's see. Let me identify some of this stuff. Sorry if the stream is particularly low rent today. I had to fall back on my older Xbox, so kind of wish we could work this in because see, you can get physical and elemental damage on these pads, right? So it's always nice when you can. Pestilence. There's a lot of other really good builds for the Necro this season. Not using Skeletal Mage. Haunted Visions is a good necklace, usually. Already got more Ataris in the cube. I think I might have Maximus in the cube already. Yeah, I was running some rifts to level up this to rank 25. So the esoteric alteration, which that's the gems you're using on this are the esoteric alteration. Gain 23% on physical damage reduction. While below 50% life, your resistances to cold, fire, lightning, poison, and arcane are increased by 75%. I mean, it's for survivability. It really is. Esoteric alteration. And it caps out at 100. Let's see. Did it give me the range on that? No, it won't even give you the range. It'll just tell you that it's socketed. And now, the while below 50% life part of that gem, you get it rank 25, right? And then that 23.5% non-physical damage reduction that ramps up as you go to 100. I think it might cap out around, I don't know. I'm not sure, like 50. I'd have to go look again. Bane of the Trapped is our secondary gem. I have it at level 25. Level 25, you gain an aura that reduces the movement speed of enemies within 15 yards by 30%. So it's creating that aura 15 yards around you, right? Increased damage against enemies under the effects of control impairing effects by 2.5%. Right, that goes all the way up to like 60%. Because you can level this gem all the way up to 150. So you can get like 60% extra damage out of just this gem. I don't know if it says 15 yards there, but I think that may actually get larger depending on your pickup radius. Maybe not, because it's in solid. It's not that 15 yards is a solid yellow, so it might stay there. So I haven't looked at it enough. I just know I'm getting 60% increased damage to anything within 15 yards, right? Now I want the Zays, right? Your damage you deal is increased by 10% for every 10 yards between you and the enemy, maximum of 52% increase at 50 yards. Now those numbers in white go up. You level up the gem. Now this gem is already at rank 81. I didn't have it in me to make another Zays and rank it up to 25. I didn't have it in me to take the time to do that. But so that tells you right now this isn't really up in your face build that that you're going to be sniping at dudes with it, right? And that's what makes me also believe that that 15 yards is increased by your percentage of pickup radius, right? Because otherwise, what would be of using that gem on a build where you're sniping, where you're doing long distance damage mostly, right? Where you're staying away from everything. I mean, okay, now, next thing is the sanctified power on this, right? You want enemies within 50 yards are constantly assaulted by the army of the dead. Unconventional warfare while this item is equipped. So if we go to our skills and we go to Army of the Dead, right? And we look, what does that do? Unconventional warfare. Skeletons will rise up from the ground and attack random targets for 50,000% total weapon damage as physical 4 seconds. So that's always happening, right? It's always going on. You don't actually have to cast Army of the Dead. I mean, you're going to once in a while, like against elites and against Rift Guardians and such like that. You're probably going to end up casting Army of the Dead. But you already have these skeletons doing like all the time. 50,000% total damage, right? It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage right there. You just got to kind of stay out of the way and let them do the work. Now, as you can see, you have command skeletons and they're up all the time. All right, all right. Hold on a second. I need to check something in my Twitch settings. I'm soon be having. Oh, well, it's something I can't fix right now, it appears. But anyways, so as you can see, my skeletons are out all the time on this build. That brings us to our skills on this build. Now, again, I'm playing on Xbox. All these reviews are done on Xbox. So the first thing you want to do is you want to hit your main options button, the 3-line button, and go to options and gameplay. Make sure that there's a check mark in your elective mode, right? You want that on. So you can put skills on any button you want, and you can put multiple skills from like, see, I got 2 skills from this one area, bone and blood, which is an offensive, I think, right? And then you got curses, your primary attacks, secondary attacks. See, I don't have any secondary attacks. I only have 1 of the corpse powers, right? And 2 reanimation powers going. So, and you want to be able to, so that gives you the ability to, unless, like, say, on the monk, where you can only have 1 mantra active at a time, or on the wizard, where you can only have 1 energy armor active at a time. Right? And it tells you that in the descriptions, right? You can only have 1 of these, da da da. But otherwise, then you can, like, if you have a particular set that works off primary abilities, then you can have multiple primary abilities. So now we'll go back in. You hit your inventory button, which is the 2 squares. Toggle over skills. Now I have this set up. I have on A button. I have bone armor dislocation. So I can just hold that button down, right? And every time that skill comes around, the cooldown is done on that skill, it pops it again. And so I get a lot more uptime on my bone armor because I'm just always holding the button down. Next, on right trigger, I have Siphon Blood. Damage is increased by 10% each time. Oh, yeah, Power Shift is the rune. Damage is increased by 10% each time damage is dealt. Max 10 stacks. So you can 100% damage out of that, right? And this also generates essence. It's a generator. It's a primary skill. Siphon blood from the targeted enemy, dealing 150% weapon damage as physical. Right? Now, to work with that, oh, here we go. In your cube, under your cube powers, you want Funerary Pick. Siphon blood drains blood from 2 additional targets. Each target takes 300% increased damage, right? From you, unless there is only 1 target, then it gains double the increased damage. The bonus from Siphon Blood Power Shift is now 20% per stack and benefits all skills, right? So if we, so that's double, it's like 200% damage, right? Poison damage. Anyways, our next skill, Revive. Target an area, reviving up to 10 corpses within 20 yards for 15 seconds. Right? Damage taken is reduced by 1% for each revived minion active. So, it's 10% damage reduction. Not a whole lot, but it helps. It's always that's all it helps. Right? And then Fate's Vow works with your army of dead. Deals an additional 250% damage and gains the effect of the unconventional warfare rune, which we're already getting that, but it's a 250% increased damage, right? It's kind of like, and then on your army of dead, which is going to be on your Y button, right? So A and X, like, you're going to be hitting A and X a lot. And RT, right? A, X, and RT a lot. On your Y button's kind of a hit it and forget it. You're just going to hit that once in a while, right? When a big enemy comes, raise a massive skeletal army to pummel any target location, dealing 12,000% weapon damage as physical in a 15-yard radius, right? And then you have the Death Valley rune on that. The skeletal army knocks all affected enemies towards the center, right? So you just gather them all up in one place. And then on your B button, which is kind of a rollover, you just roll over with your thumb and hit it it's your escape button, Blood Rush. Shed your mortal flesh and reappear up to 50 yards away. So you just plop out like if you've been trapped by an elite trap or you're trapped by walls, whatever, boom, 15 up to 50 yards away, right? Increase your armor by 100% for 2 seconds after casting. So if you're using your escape button, it's for a reason. You're taking damage. You're trying to get the hell out of there. So you get some extra armor for popping your escape button, right? Now I have command skeletons on RB because I'm going to be hitting that, right? And it costs essence, right? Command your skeletal minions to attack the target and increase their damage against it by 50%. And then I have Frenzy. Commanded skeletons go into a frenzy and giving 25% increased attack speed while they attack the target. And so and then you add your Jeth's Skull Scythe to this, right? You're getting a lot of damage out of your command skeletons, and if they're charging a group of enemies, then you don't have to keep commanding them to attack. You don't have to keep spending that essence, right? And they move from target to target to target. Very helpful. Now, our passives on this Rathmas shield. You cannot lose life for 4 seconds after using Land of the Dead, Army of the Dead, or Simulacrum. This effect cannot occur more than once every 60 seconds. Right? So it's like a 4-second immortality, right? You're not taking damage for 4 seconds after you pop it. Okay, next we have Final Strike. When you take lethal damage, you are sustained, preventing all damage for 4 seconds. In addition, you heal for 10% of your life per minion. This effect cannot occur more than every 60 seconds. Again, it's just a cheat death skill. So you've got 2 cheat death skills, right? Grisly Tribute. Right? Oh, Rigor Mortis. Poison ability also slow enemies by 30% and reduce their attack speed by 30% for 4 seconds. Right? And you're a necro and you're doing poison damage. It's just a nice passive extra little thing to the poison damage you're doing. Grisly Tribute. You are healed by 10% of your life on hit when one of your minions hits an enemy. So it's just a life generator, right? As long as your skeletons or your risen minions, any of your dead pets are doing damage, you're getting 10% life back. We already covered the cube. We covered our skills and runes. Right now, as part of reviewing this build, yes, I have a lot of Paragon. I do not have those Paragon placed for reviewing. Whenever I do one of these reviews of a set, I always do it as if it's a more of a beginner player. You just got to 70, you're probably at 100, couple hundred, but I'm not going to mess around with choosing which skills it's up to you which Paragons you want to fill as you get there, but when you look around, it's pretty easy to tell what you want. Like, Intelligence is your damage creator, right? But if you're always out of essence, it doesn't do you any good. So you're going to want to fill your maximum essence first, right? That, in my opinion, like, argue about it amongst yourselves, but in my opinion, and then on your offensive, right? A lot of your skills, how often you cast them depends on your cooldown reduction. You're gonna want your cool reduction filled first. And if you're wearing like this build, you're wearing the Captain's Crimson set, that cooldown reduction is going to give you damage, right? It's going to increase your damage, right? On defense, like, just pick anyone, man. Armor's good. Resist All is generally one of the best to start with, right? Because it's just a damage reducer, right? Resist All is a good one to start with. And on your utilities, resource cost reduction. Because again, resource cost reduction, if you are in the captain set, like on this build, is going to give you damage reduction, right? So that's it, and you're going to have the ability. You're going to be able to cast more skills more often because you're not spending as much to cast those skills. But that's just my opinion, right? However, do it however you want. It's up to you. Now, once you're at 800 Paragon, you will be able to have 50 points. These will be maxed out. These will be maxed out. These will max out. Right? There are some builds when you look them up and you look at like Maxroll or Icy Veins, or you look at the leaderboards, where people have a lot of area damage, right? They've got the 50 points in the area damage. A lot of area damage on the build. And yes, like meteors and stuff is designed with the area damage in it. But here's the thing with consoles, even the newer consoles, if you have a lot of area damage in your build, it's going to cause a lot of lag for you and people in your lobby, right? Or whatever lobby you go into. So, maybe don't use quite so much area damage. I mean, and it's gonna be hard on some of the builds, but it's a good idea not to use quite so much area damage. But anyways, once you get 50 points of damage in all of these, your intelligence and vitality, you can put points into them forever. As many points of Paragon you have, you can put them in. Now, generally people, depending on the builds, if it's really squishy, they'll use more vitality. But a lot of times with these builds where you have a lot of intelligence becomes resist all or all resist, right? So they'll put like their 50 points into vitality and maybe another 50, up to 100 points of vitality, and put all the rest into intelligence. I've seen some people not put any points of vitality at all and put it all into intelligence, but they got a lot of Paragon, right? They've got like, right? They've got like 3,000 Paragon points all into intelligence. And they're fairly tanky. They don't really need all that extra vitality. Or they'll just cap it, like I said, at 50 or 100 and put everything else into intelligence. That's up to you when you get there. But anyways, more on to the review. Now let's see if I can remember how to run this. And I know this build right here with just kind of this, a couple of the pieces are ancient because that's just what I got. That's what, as I was, because generally I'll make 5 or 6 Ascendant, and then I'll upgrade them from rare to legendary, right? So some of the pieces are ancient. I didn't purposefully try and get ancient pieces for the build so it wouldn't look like too OP, like, oh, this guy's using the super OP build. No. And I don't think I haven't rolled any of the stats on it, although that Traveler's Pledge is kind of nice. It's got it, that's a nice one. I have a socket on it, right? Just like these rings, I had to roll sockets on them. And you can tell if a piece has been rolled. You look up in the right hand corner of the game and you see that little circle, like two arrows spinning. That means it's been enchanted at the enchantress. And you go down the list, you can see I rolled something off for a socket, right? And same with this piece. I rolled for a socket. Now this, like I said, this is the piece that I used got petrified scream. Angelic Crucible on. And you can just keep, if you've got a few of these, you can just keep putting the Angelic Crucible on the same item you have. And it will re-roll the stats on that item over and over. And every time you will get a silver, it's a primal. It's just silver or white in color instead of being red. It's primal. It's max stats, right? I'd prefer to have crit on this and roll for the socket. Crit, intelligence, and a socket. Roll something else for a socket. But I just dropped enough crucibles on it to get the and within 50 yards are constantly assaulted by Army of the Dead. But just enough to get on it, and then I rolled for a socket at the Enchantress. Right? And if you've been watching my videos, you know how that's done. You come over here, You go here to your enchantress. You go under enchant. If you're transmogging, you go right. Color dyes, train. Always make sure she's trained up to 12. I don't even think I've gone over that. It's so in my mind, it's so obvious you need to train these people, but obviously, if you've never played the game, you obviously don't know that. Jeez. Anyways, highlight that Christmas sentence, right? And then I don't even remember what I rolled off for this. It might have been, I don't know. But you hit X on it first. I'll bring up this purple menu, tell you all the possible things you can enchant for on that, right? And it's going to cost you one Forgotten Soul, it's going to cost you one Death Breath, and it's going to cost you one Imperial Emerald. And you just keep, and then, you highlight it, you press A. Oh, no. There we go. Almost rolled my socket off. You press A, and it's going to roll it. And then you cannot roll any of the other skills. Like, let's see, like, if we look at this one, you can see I rolled a bunch of stuff. Oh, I rolled for 10% damage on it, or 8% damage. I have not rolled this for anything. So, we'll go back in. We'll look at this. See, so you can see there's a full list of stuff, right? And once I pick which one of these stats I'm going to roll, I can't roll any other stats, right? And like I said, I haven't rolled too much of anything on this, so it doesn't look like, I'm using some uber build, right? Oh, of course you can do that. Everything's ancient and primal and augmented. Yep. No, it's not. It's just your basic build, right? Basic level 25 gems. Because once you get any of these sets put together, like you get a 2, if you have a Ring of Grandeur, you get 3 pieces of a set. You could easily run, you should be able to get T16 or close. If you're over 70, right, and you can't run T16, still, just keep running these, get enough keys to run. Well, I gotta scroll down. You should be able to run like GR25, GR35, which is going to be low, like Torment 5, right? Torment 8. Like 3-4 pieces of your gear, and these builds are pretty badass, right? So, hard, level 1, right? And to get all these gems, 225 with a 100% chance, you need to run a 35 because you need to be 10 over, right? Or 9 over. So you could actually run a 34. And that's Torment 7, which if you have 3 or 4 pieces of gear is more than doable, easily doable. Right? Your seasonal journey, these 4 chapters, right? It's not that hard to get a lot of this stuff done on these. It's simple stuff, right? Complete a Nephilim Rift on expert or higher, right? It doesn't mean you have to beat it in 3 minutes. It just means you need to beat a Nephilim Rift. There's no timer on it. If it takes you all day to get it done in expert, it takes you all day, but you've gotten it done, right? Craft a level 70 ring. And for that, as a reward of completing all these, you're going to get 2 pieces of gear, which I've already claimed, right? And that pet, which is actually this one. You get that pet, but you don't get to claim, actually, they won't actually give you that portrait frame and that pet for completing the Act 1 stuff until you finish Act 4. And then you just get it, right? And so you get 2 pieces of gear on each one of these, right? And it's not that hard to put a whole set together. And this is the particular set you get from doing that. And I'm probably meandering too much. Anyways, so here we go. 25, 25. That one's a little bit higher, but I could still do it with a 25. No Paragon. I could probably take all these gems out and just put, in fact, I will, as part of the demonstration. Here we go. I'm gonna take all my larger gems out. Put them away. Then I'm going to get out these. Because once you get to level 70, this is the smallest gem you're going to get. I don't even know why I still have these in here. Just because I haven't come and trashed me. Sold them. Right? So these are going to be the lowest. And as you can see, I got a bunch of them. They, like, once you get playing, gems drop all the time. Right? Whoops, don't need those. I need... Where did I get all these? Because I'm talking while doing... Okay, so you're going to need diamond and one of these, right? And early on your follower, right? Broken crown drops all the time. Put that on your follower. And then whatever gem you have in your helm, one of those will drop of the same level. If a Marquise drops a Marquise diamond or topaz or whatever it is you have, or a green gem for gold, an extra one of those will drop whenever a gem drops anywhere, right? Okay, so we're gonna, whoops, God. So used to an armor piece being on top. Okay, let's try that again. Grab this. There. All right. So now, small, here we go. And I am going to go right to a 90. Now, as soon as we get in here, like I said, I'm using my older unit today. It's an old Xbox One X, so I'm streaming from. As soon as we get in here, right, we're going to want to. No, actually, we don't have, there's no skills we need to start right away. We can wait until we get to some monsters. There we go. You can see my bone armor is building up, and I'm just going to stay back. I'm not even going to command my skeletons, and I'm going to let my bone armor kind of build up. Kill them guys. There we go. Now see, I'm holding down the A and the X, right? X is that revive. So every time we kill a monster, it's going to revive a monster. I'm getting one to fight by my side. And my bone armor stuns them, and each stack of bone armor gives me damage reduction. Like I didn't go over there. Like, does 125% weapon damage when you use your bone armor. Can't even scroll the whole thing. 3% less damage up to 10 stacks, so it's 30% damage reduction, and it lasts 60 seconds. Alright, so I'm holding A and X down. Hit RB, gonna hit RB. Command my skeletons. Gonna hit Siphon Blood, because that's gonna give me damage reduction, right? See, it's like, it doesn't last very long though. It only lasts while you're doing the Siphon Blood, right? And you see, you let off and that goes down, it disappears. It has a really short, I mean, it's stacked up really quick. Man, skeletons, go. Oh, everything's dead. See, now at this point, it's pretty much a snipe build, right? Just, as soon as somebody comes up on screen, you see them like a monster come to screen, you're going to hit command skeletons, and then you're going to hold down your Siphon Blood. You're going to kind of stay back out of the action. Oh, the yellow circle that was on the ground is for my follower. He's got Oculus ring on, right? And he'll drop... Stay on the damn ring, you stupid thing. And is what it does. Chance to create an aura of focused power on killing a monster. Damage increased by 83% while standing in the area. Right? So anytime one of those yellow rings is on the ground from your follower, you want to stand in it. Your follower has Broken Crown for double gem drops, has Flavor of Time, so you get twice as much time out of your pylons, has Nemesis Bracers, so you get champions out of pylons and shrines, is wearing the token, right? Your skeleton key, follower token, equip on follower. Your follower cannot die, so he's not dead when you need one of his abilities, right? And then I've got some, just whatever pants I threw on him here. And then he's got Sage's Passage and Sage's Ribbon, so I get double Death Breath anytime Death Breath drops. I got Gloves of Worship, so 10 minutes on all the small shrines. All those effects last like 10 minutes. I've got Spalder to Zakra, so my gear doesn't take any damage. And I got Gold Skin for extra gold. And then he's just got the best bow that's dropped from so far. Skills, I run with Crippling Shot, Hysteria, Piercing Shot, and Nice Veil. Crippling Shot, ranged attack, deals 140% weapon damage, right? Slows the enemy by 80% for almost 4 seconds, right? Depending on the scoundrel's dexterity. Hysteria, whenever you are the scoundrel. No, that's not what I want on there. I don't even know what. I should have Anatomy on to increase my crit hit chance. I don't know why Hysteria is on. And that shouldn't be on either. Vanish should be on. Oh, I know why. Because the first token I got for him was all skills, right? And I had that on. And then I changed it to follower does not die. And I didn't go back in and double check his skills. Because I'm a silly boy. See, and then run back out of the way. Hit my command skeletons. Quit. Command skeletons. Hello. Command skeletons. It's like they weren't commanding. Well, that's because everything's dead. Oh. See. Oops. Missed that. See, and they continue to attacking stuff until everything's dead. Occasionally I'll pop it again. Make sure they're doing their job. Unfortunately, you can't cast Siphon Blood and walk at the same time, right? So there we go. I'm going to smack Army of the Dad. Just to get... Oops, this is going to be the right way over here. And you can tell when I pop that command skeleton because they go running right away. Right? And I've got them 10 stacks are up all the time. It doesn't cost me anything to cast that revive spell. Right? So I just hold it down, and every time I walk over a corpse, it revives a guy for me. And you can see my skeletons just keep going from target to target, constantly under command when there's a bunch of them, right? And anytime I see there's any just standing around, not attacking anything or whatnot, then I hit the command skeleton button again because they haven't been commanded. It's run out. Back off out of there for a second. Hockey ring. I missed that pylon over there. Yeah, I wasn't playing with them fools. They needed to die. Okay. Oh, thought that was... Oh, I missed a turn. Here it is, here it is. See, we're well ahead of the clock, right? There's no... Next floor. Took some damage there. We took some damage from some ground effects there. Didn't realize I was so close. I should have saved that. But, doesn't matter. Pretty much worked them over. Get everything picked up. Talk to Urshi. All right, go back to town. Close this rift and see how long it took us. Now again, just this sec here. Lowest gems, as low as they can write. You get plenty of these gems. I mean, this is the smallest size gem. And if you've been set, you should have plenty of diamonds, plenty of everything, right? Let's see. Oh, what did I pick up here? That looks like a crucible. Right? Rank 25. Now, with this set, I've been able to easily run a 90, right? So you're easy going to be able to run GR35s to get all these gems to at least 25. And then go up, and then just go up by 5 every time if you empower the rift to get 5 chances, just go up by 5 every time all 3 of them are at then they're all at 30. You run a 40, then they're 5, so you run a 45. Now let's see how long it took us to run this. 6 minutes and 35 seconds to run a 90 with your beginner set. Right, that's not shabby at all. That's not shabby at freaking all. Now, yeah, I did take some damage in there. I could have died a couple times, but generally by standing back and just doing my siphon blood and letting my minions do the work, they generate a lot of life for me. They generate a lot of damage reduction. You just can't be running up in there, right? It's a long distance set. You let your minions do the work for you. And this is an S-class build, by the way. You can fairly easily take this build to a GR 140. Build it up, get all the stuff ancient, get it augmented, all that. It's not very hard to get to like 140 with this build. 120s, very, very attainable. So if you're a casual player, this is a really good starter build. As it's an excellent starter build. Like, I think it's one of the best starter builds this season is this set right here. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, post them in the comments here at Twitch. Then or if you're watching on YouTube, by the way, my YouTube channel, also called Darth Grumpy Dad, is in the link here at Twitch. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, all that lovely stuff. Share this with your friends, fellow Xbox players, the whole thing, right? And help this grumpy old dude get a few more subscribers. All right. So I hope you found this useful. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link for my Twitch channel on my YouTube page, and there's a link for my YouTube channel on my Twitch page. Happy hunting, everyone. See you on the next one.